some of the most remote places on the planet, men and machines are hard at work. It takes a rare breed of man and a unique machine to deliver in these extreme conditions. This is airborne heavy load. Whether ferrying critical equipment, shifting mountain boulders, dragging logs, moving whole houses, or fighting forest fires, these are the men and machines you need to get the job done. Without them, you're grounded. Columbia Helicopters is the only place outside the military where you'll find the mighty Chinook choppers. Transporting loads of up to 25,000 pounds at the end of 100-foot cables, these choppers are lifting, carrying and landing the equivalent of a fully loaded semi-truck, with each movement fine-tuned with incredible dexterity and precision. It takes two dedicated teams working as one to get these jobs done. The pilots and the crew. The crew are the men on the ground who tread the most dangerous of terrains, service the Chinooks and hook up the potentially lethal structures to the choppers.
It is a dangerous job, but we make it the least dangerous it can be.
I am a hooker for Columbia Helicopters. I don't know what drew me to it. Maybe it was the money at first, probably the money, I would say. And then I started to really like it. But I definitely was intimidated at the helicopter when I started hooking logs, because you definitely have that fear of, doing something wrong out there in the woods, hanging them up or something and ripping that helicopter out of the sky. You don't want to be doing that. But yeah, definitely I was intimidated at that at first, with just the, just the whole helicopter coming to me too, like, man. Pretty freaking cool if you ask me. See, this is what I like about my job. The rush, the thrill.
You got to have a good partner to do this job. If you don't, because you don't see them for a long time sometimes, and your wife's got to understand, I'm going away maybe 2, 3, who knows, maybe 4 months. I love you, I'll see you when I get back.
Her comment is, I say I'm here for the family, and she says I'd be doing this job whether I had a family or not, and she's right.
The first 20 years I was with Columbia, I had a son, but I hardly ever saw him. He'd come visit. He's 23 now. I never got to see him grow up.
Sometimes it's 6 months before you see him. It gets lonely. You miss him. But you got to make a living. And this company pays good.
There's times we let loose, we let loose pretty good, have a good time.
He's kind of the rowdy one out of us all. He gets in a little trouble once in a while. That's why we're trying to keep him out in the woods. Because Charlie, you get him in town, he drinks a few too many beers, and he'll want to tear it up,
2 Charlie Hotel, Helibit.
The job of flying these monster choppers is the dream of most pilots. With twin turbine engines topping 4,500 shaft horsepower and cruising speeds of 120 knots in the right hands, it's a great toy. And with a $250,000 a year pay packet, this job has some big draws. But only the very best will get the job.
I've been here 21 years. I don't know how they come in, grab a log, bring it out. They're just amazing.
They're the #1 pilots in America. Some of these guys are just outstanding.
You can either do it or you can't. There's guys that do fine, and then there's just people who just can't do it for sure. They just can't physically get out there and do it. If you're hanging out the bubble, you're actually hanging out and looking down and backwards. So you've totally lost that visual reference that you normally have when you're just coming into land. You're sitting upright doing this kind of thing. When we come into land, we're hanging out like that. We're laying that line out, and you're watching that the whole way down. That's the difficult part. It's where most people have most of the problems.
Truth is, piloting a Chinook is a rare skill. It's physically demanding, with most of the trainees falling at the first hurdle.
We've just had a lot of guys quit over the years from just throwing up the whole time. They call it a puke test. They go to get white, green, horrible. There's nothing worse than that.
In this new primetime series, we'll be getting airborne and inside an exclusive and extreme world. In each episode, we'll follow a specific job from when it's booked to getting the right men and machines on location, wherever in the world that is. Breathtaking visuals from the extreme wild. All-powerful machines and a brotherhood of men working in all conditions to make a great living. This is Airborne Heavy Load.
We don't care where we are as long as we're working.
That's one thing you don't do out here is get bored. You always got something different every day.